A disturbing, had-to-watch 2 minutes and 8 seconds video has surfaced on social media. The video shows how the Eastern Security Network, ESN, that acclaimed security wing of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, celebrated the abduction and beheading of 2 out of 3 police officers, has surfaced online, causing shock and disbelief across the social media space. The repulsive video featured some young men believed to be IPOB ESN members communicating in Igbo language and surrounded by 2 severed heads of police officers placed by a fire they set up as if being roasted in a remote place. The brutish young men who cannibalized the deceased clowned and scorned them, and even as they repeatedly stated that one of the 2 killed looked like a Fulani from the look of his nose. The 3rd officer was seen sitting on the floor with his fate unknown as at the time the video was released. Meanwhile, the federal government, which described the development as unacceptable, has vowed to bring justice to the persons behind the gruesome murder of the 2 policemen. Tundu, what's your take on this?
I mean, this is completely monstrous. It's beyond monstrous. Clearly, I haven't watched the video. I will never watch such a thing. But the idea that some people can be so depraved as to murder human beings and film themselves as if it's something to be proud of, and then to dismember the bodies and then roast people's heads, and then these are serving police officers, and they have names: ASP Francis Idoko, Inspector Emmanuel Akubo, Inspector Rufai Adamu are the 3 men there. 2, unfortunately, deceased and decapitated, and 1 alive in the video, which we pray he still is as of now. But this really, for me, is about the heinous murder of serving police officers and the complete lack of respect for law enforcement officers in this country that we continue to witness. This is so abhorrent, and the federal government cannot tolerate this. Action must be taken, and I really don't care for the other undertone of tribalism, which tends to rear its ugly head. Will be such, near perfect as far as I'm concerned as Nigerians, if we could get rid of that evil of tribalism. Talking about the features of one of the people they have just murdered and saying he looks like a Fulani, what on earth is that about? I mean, it's disgusting. The federal government must fish them out. This is intolerable in any civilized society. And I don't care who they are, what their motives are. This cannot be tolerated. It's beyond disgusting.
Dr. Wati?
Well, it's shocking. It's unbelievable. This is terrible, condemnable to the highest degree, that we will have a situation in Nigeria in 2021 whereby there will be a video in circulation of persons engaged in the act of murder and cannibalism and being evil-minded enough to record it and to circulate it. You will have thought that this will be, the kind of thing we used to read about in antediluvian times, in prehistoric Africa, when, cannibalism was the norm, and people lived in a state of nature, the Obesian state of nature, where life was nasty and brutish, and there was no rule of law and order. But to have a rules-based system, a country that has rules and has, laws in place, and some persons going under whatever banner at all would not only abduct, kidnap, serving officers of the state, but would then proceed to decapitate them and set up a bonfire as if to give the impression that they were going to engage in a cannibalistic feast. It is an indication of how bad our society has become. It is an indication of the kind of cruelty that is abroad in our land. The persons who abducted these 3 policemen were said to have done so on November 27, and they've been identified as members of the Eastern Security Network. Whoever they may be, it is the duty of the law of the state to fish them out and to ensure that they are brought to justice. This was the point that was made by Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, and I hope that that statement was made in all seriousness, Because in the report that we have seen in the papers, the organization involved was not just identified, the leader of the gang was also identified. I hope that leader of the gang will not become a ghost, and the Nigerian state will do whatever it can, will do all it takes to make sure that all the persons are involved in this heinous murder of serving police officers of the state are apprehended and made to face the full wrath of the law. The second leg of it, of course, is that this raises the issue of ethnic relations in Nigeria. In the video, the graphic reporting this day, I thought this day report was a bit too graphic. Though I don't know why the editor chose to go give all those details. You know, this is an indication of the degeneration in terms of ethnic relations. We were told that there was a reference to one of them looking like a Fulani, and that's Inspector Adamu. In this case, 2 heads were placed on the floor by the fire. Another, policeman who had not yet been decapitated was there witnessing the scene. And then how do you want, that reference to Fulanis to be taken? This was how the Civil War started. They believed that one particular person, some persons in one ethnic group were targeting persons in another ethnic group. And I'm not surprised that all of this has been extended in the reports that we have seen in terms of the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, with which the Eastern Security Network is associated. You recall that before now, a group called Highly Distinguished Igbo Greats had visited President Muhammadu Buhari. And one of their major requests on that occasion, that a political solution should be